Welcome to the e-commerce leaders series, the podcast dedicated to helping founders and operators navigate the world of e-commerce in the age of AI. I'm Eric Bidinger, your host, co-founder and CEO of Luca AI. And today I have the pleasure of being joined by Michel Willems from H1. H1 works with ambitious retailers and e-commerce organizations on digital transformation, helping them modernize their technology, improve customer experience, and build for the future. And today in our conversation, we're going to explore what separates successful transformations from failed ones, how AI is changing the way businesses operate, and what leaders should really be focusing on over the next few years. So Michel, very nice meeting you. Welcome on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Just to get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and what H1 does, please?
Okay. Well, Michel Willems, co-founder of H1. We started 21 years ago. I was reminded last year about that by the people that work for me, or for us already, well, some of them already 20 years. We are a full-service e-commerce agency. So full service, but e-commerce. Mm-hmm. So we help to create a beautiful and effective e-commerce infrastructure. We help to digitize the business models of retailers, but also a large part of our business is wholesale B2B.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Given that you have quite a broad range of different clients, what type of businesses do you enjoy working with the most?
Well, that's a hard question, Eric. I mean, could you choose between all those beautiful clients? But I just give a couple of examples. What I really like is those typical organizations that nobody knows, but they're hidden gems, like B2B niche players already in the market for 120 plus years in the family, doing their business in a very effective, not always efficient, but quite often effective way, world famous in their own tiny niche, mm-hmm. with a huge turnover. And quite often we are able to really get some quick wins for them. Mm-hmm. Helping them to modernize the business, but still stay personal, as they quite often want to be. So with these kind of companies, we really get results very quickly. Mm-hmm. However, if there is a retailer in a very competitive market, with problems like new entry and new people or new companies entering the market from China, etc., and we find a way to survive, mm-hmm. and even grow, well, that's another challenge. So there are a couple of challenges that I really like, as long as it is challenging.
Interesting. So on your first types of companies, the hidden gem, what surprised you most about how those organizations approach change?
I'm not sure if it surprised me, but what we quite often see is, well, the leader of the company went to a seminar and said, "Hey, we have to change." And for some reason picked up my name and they called me. So that is a beautiful spark to start a change, but not always enough. If you have that very tight family feeling within a company where everybody does more or less what they did before, mm-hmm. and it is still successful because you're in that niche and everybody needs you, it's difficult to throw off your shield, let's say, your comfortable feeling and be a little bit vulnerable and change your operation. And that can be on all kind of specific parts of the company. Sometimes it's a sales manager that thinks, when we do more e-commerce, my bonus is in danger.
Right.
Sometimes it's somebody who says, well, if I don't have to make any changes in product information in our product information management system anymore because AI does it, what shall I do in my life? So people feel threatened, and that's logical. So it's not unexpected. What really surprises me, often how easy it is to get people enthusiastic once they really get it, when they really feel like, yes, this is what we're gonna do, and no, my job is not in danger.
Exactly. And do you think so the common theme here seems to be that there's a bottleneck at the human level? Maybe people are apprehensive of technology replacing them, but when you're talking about all of this eventually working out once people understand what the common goal is. So what is the common goal here? Is it grow the business, create value? I imagine various stakeholders have different answers to those questions, and all of those are kind of complex.
So let's get into that a little bit. The various stakeholders. So probably if you're the fifth generation of a family-owned business, you want to your broader horizon is to survive for years and years and centuries to come, and to have a valuable company, but also a sustainable company in the sense that it will sustain for future generations if they want to work in the company. Whereas another leader probably has another goal in mind, like I want as much value as possible because I'm planning to sell it to private equity. Or another stakeholder is a sales manager, and it's very important for him or her to get as much turnover as possible, so growth. Other people do jobs that they don't like. So we're going a little bit down in the hierarchy right now. But if you have a job that feels a little bit, well, boring or not so, or at least repetitive, or your goal might be, I want a more interesting job. And so there are a lot of stakeholders. A controller might think, well, what I want to do is cut costs, etc., etc. So if you want to change, if you want to apply AI or e-commerce or whatever in your organization, it's very good to see what the end goal is, but also try to align all the sub goals that people might have to the end goal.
And that's, I mean, very sound advice. And where's the boundary between your role at H1 advising those companies? So where does that stop? And where is the responsibility of the company's leadership to just push down whatever you suggest? Can you help us understand a little bit that tension?
We are a very practical agency. So we implement, we develop, we design. We are not as a strategy agency. However, our clients listen quite often pretty well because we've seen things with other companies, and especially with SME, and they're not always willing to spend so much money on strategy advice. McKinsey might be a little bit too costly for them, or whatever other agency. I don't want to
pick on McKinsey
or any other agency, but let's say so quite often already in the sales process or in the discovery phase, or even within the implementation phase, we help with strategy or strategy implementation. Our way to approach things is, okay, we have a technology solution, whether it's an e-commerce platform or a PIM system or AI tool or whatever, but we always start with a goal in mind. So we listen very carefully in the beginning, and preferably not only to the leader. So we have impact, we give advice, we listen very carefully, and in the best case, it's that people think they created their own strategy, and we had no influence on that.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that. So bring it back to e-commerce, because that's a little bit what our audience is interested in. The role of the e-commerce leaders has changed dramatically over the last 5 years. And what do you think are the skills that are becoming most relevant today and for the future?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Eric. So it gives me some time to think about it. Well, to begin with, curiosity. It's a cliche, but we develop faster and faster and faster. We can't imagine what happens in the next 6 months, because what we've seen in the last years was tremendous. Yeah, I mean, it's really a cliche. When I grew up, there was no mobile phone nor internet. Might be the case for you. And now we're living because we have our companies because of that, and now there's the next wave. So since we can't predict so well what's happening in the next years, curiosity is one of the most important. I don't know if it's a habit, a skill, or whatever it is, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
You have to be curious about what's happening, but also what stays the same. Because if you're only focusing on what's new, you might go that way to the right, then to the left, without really building something sustainable.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's about the key values that drive the successful innovations. For instance, if you're a wholesale organization, probably your customer, whatever technology you use, the customers want reliability. They want the product at the right time and the right moment. They might be price sensitive, so they want it at the right price. They might want some advice depending on your niche, etc., etc. So you have to find out, well, in order to get to your end goal, which might be growth or what the key drivers are. And then you start to find out what kind of technology or what kind of tool or what kind of algorithm, whatever it is, helps you to get even a better deliverability, a better logistic process, a less inventory, but still being able to deliver on time, a better price because your sourcing process is more efficient. A better advice because they don't have to wait for the phone call, but there is a AI agent helping them to find the right spare part, for instance.
Yeah. No, I mean 100%, right? Hard to disagree with that. I mean, you have to start with the objective and then tack on the tools to get there, not the other way around.
Exactly, and in between, have to find out what the drivers are, what the the real needs of your customers are and base your innovation on that.
Yeah. And the curiosity bit, I mean, I don't think it's a cliche. I mean, I think it's applicable to everyone, not just your clients, but yourself as well, us as well, everyone. In a time of rapid change like that, you have to stay at least current on what's possible. Now, whether you apply it to your business or not, that's another question. And speaking of which, we've interviewed quite a lot of brand owners on our podcast, and one common theme that comes back is this feeling of being overwhelmed by dashboard and reports, and there's just so much data that's being generated by a business on a daily basis, and it's impossible to synthesize all of it. And what a lot of our clients and podcast guests are saying is that what they like is really clarity on what to make of that deluge of data.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you've experienced as well?
Yeah, I mean, you can't see the forest anymore because there are too many trees, isn't it?
Mm.
And then not only there is so much data, if you don't understand the data so well and you rely completely on something coded with AI, you might get in a situation that you base your conclusions or your strategy or tactics on the wrong data. I mean, probably you found out yourself that sometimes Claude or ChatGPT says, I'm very sorry, I shouldn't made that up, because the LLMs always want to give you an answer, and sometimes it's really drifting. So yes, we want clarity. Yes, we want to know what's really important. What are the key drivers of your success? What are the KPIs? That's one of them. Or what is for instance, in e-commerce, very important and more important, what is the product data that's really true? And it all starts with the right data and the right control processes, the right checks, the human in the loop at the right moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So little plug, as a side note, this hallucination problem with the LLMs, it's exactly why we have Luca AI, so that you don't have that kind of issues. But anyway, that's a sidebar. On the same theme, what do you think? What's one business question that every CEO should be able to answer instantly?
One business question.
Yeah. So you arrive in the morning.
Yeah.
You're a CEO of one of your clients.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that they should have absolute visibility on?
There are a lot of things that you could see directly, but one of the most important things is sales channel performance.
Yeah.
Whatever the sales channel is, whether it's traditional sales, EDI orders, or a web shop.
Yeah.
Because if you see, and not only a snapshot, but also the trends, because that there might be something behind that really changes your business.
Yep. Oh, very good advice. Can I mean, since we're on the subject of AI and what's coming in the future, obviously AI is changing every part of commerce at the moment. Mm-hmm. How do you think AI is changing leadership itself?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it might change ourselves in a way we think, and we might not think in the future anymore if we rely too much on AI. Mm-hmm. If we use it wisely, it helps us to make smarter decisions, to to understand complex problems better, to make it possible to make more complex decisions or develop more complex processes if needed. We don't want complexity for the sake of complexity because we can. It should lead to something. However, what we have to be aware of that since AI is becoming so good, we start to believe it. And quite often we can believe it, but we are not so critical anymore. In the beginning, when I created a blog using AI, I was really being critical and changing it, etc., etc. And now, well, the agent understands me more or less, gets a blog, and I think, oh, looks good. And I don't read it anymore. I should, because sometimes it's drifting away. Yeah. So it's really difficult also for me. So it's a note to myself as well, to stay critical and to keep on thinking. And I compare it with another technology that is a little bit older. It's still, without Google Maps, it's difficult to navigate nowadays. Yeah. It's like we forgot how to navigate in an unknown city. Yeah. And I don't think that we want to be that dependent for a couple of reasons. One of them is the AI drift, what we talked about. Another one is, although AI is becoming more and more creative, it's still based on what is developed in the past. It learns from that. Yeah. And it's difficult to be even more creative. So if we really want to make the next step into the future, until now, I don't know what happens in 4 months from now, but until now, we still need human creativity, and we have to train ourselves to be creative or critical. One advice is try to navigate in an unknown city for once without Google Maps. Yeah. Because there might be a day there is no Google Maps anymore, and the same applies for AI.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, it's like every muscle, right? If you don't use them, it atrophies. I was reading, I think, a newspaper over the weekend. They were talking about a good metaphor. They're talking about AI as being an exoskeleton for your brain, which I thought is pretty. It's pretty accurate.
Or at least you should use it like that. You shouldn't use it like an electric wheelchair.
But then you have the dial on the exoskeleton where you're putting, you're going from 10% power to 100% power, and then you don't have to do anything anymore, and it just does everything for you. Anyway, if you were advising today a 50 million euro e-commerce business, what would you prioritize over the next 24 months? So it's multi-step questions. Would you prioritize technology, people, processes, and why?
But that's difficult because they all apply, and you can't implement the right technology without the right people. Or you can't change the processes without the right people, and you might need some technology. So I would prioritize to begin with an analysis. What's happening? So, for instance, I'm currently working with a company with a huge database of 1 million SKUs. And for them, their main priority right now is getting it all online, being able to sell it with the right product data, because people should not buy products that doesn't fit. It's an industrial company. So in this case, we are really looking into their product information management system. system and processes, how to source the data, how to enrich the data, how to control the data, and what kind of product data do we need afterwards, not only to feed their nowadays traditional e-commerce platform or the ERP system or the EDI system, but also how can we feed the AI agents that are gonna play a role. That's their priority. But then there is another company where, and in this answer, by the way, there were people, processes, and technology. But we focused on one core problem. Really will have a lot of impact. In other companies, there might be another core problem where we need the people, the processes, and the technology.
Yeah, it's idiosyncratic a little bit, right? It's company dependent, it's situation dependent, and it's time bound as well. It's same company, same people might need different things at different points in time.
Exactly.
But
well, your question about people and technology, etc. We are a technology company. We are called H1 because the human factor is the number one priority. We build for people, with people, etc. So you can't do without the rest.
Good origin story about the H1 name. Thank you. Look, this is a great conversation. We're going to end with a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Growth or profitability?
Ooh. Long-term profitability.
Here you go. Nice. AI assistant or another full-time employee?
AI assistant.
Here you go. You're taking a stand. Perfect strategy or perfect execution?
It's difficult to choose, but without the right execution, strategy is worthless.
There you go. And last question, that's a tough one. Morning meetings or afternoon meetings?
For us, morning meetings, 8:47 every day.
There you go. Fantastic. That was a great conversation, Michel. Thank you very much for your time. I hope our audience really enjoyed this one.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it as well. So at least two of us enjoyed it. Let's hope the rest of the world enjoys this as well.
And for our audience, where can they find you and where can they find H1?
And they can find H1 at the following domain. It's h1.nl for the Netherlands. And they can find me, for instance, on LinkedIn, Michel Willems, Willems.
Fantastic. Michel, thank you very much for your time. This was great. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you very much.